Let's have a look inside Steve's newly reorganized studio. You can see there's not a lot of room, but we did get the drill press in today. I still need to work on setting it up. The other drill press is behind it there. Let's take a quick look in this room. This still needs a lot of reorganization, but this is where I keep all my stuff and a few artworks here. That's your blood right there. Stuff. This is storage. I also keep my books for sale right there. And there's a few in this trunk down here. But this is for another day. This is the workbench that I use for grinding and drilling, and I've set up a little grinder here. And once I've moved around, used the table saw, which is on wheels, there's really not a lot of room to put any more equipment. I'll go in the middle and do a complete turnaround here. I'm even storing that great big art piece back here, which is in 2 parts. These are pieces that are in production or thinking being thought about. And this is my homemade router table without a router in it. These are also items I'm thinking about using. And those guys are on wheels. These all need to be repaired or given back to somebody or given away. This is a table where I put stuff when I'm working on my regular workbench, which is right here. This is where all my paints and glues and fluids and stuff go. And these are where all the screws and nuts and bolts go, and then down here is more nuts and bolts and screws and a nice big flat piece of marble for doing smooth work on. This is where I keep all my different saw blades, ropes, my welding station, which I don't use very often. And I have my sandblaster back here, which I drag outside whenever I need to use it. But I put my old file cabinet in here, and I've labeled everything, as you can see. Protection, welding and sandblasting supplies, table saw. These things up, there's table saw accessories, welding and sandblasting accessories, gloves. Look at all these gloves. I reorganized all of this. Here is where I put table saw, pieces of wood and things to measure and brush and push wood in. And I keep all my metals in this file cabinet. Brass things. Iron. I put this one up high because everything in there is so heavy. Copper and brass. Some pretty stuff in there. And aluminum, stainless steel, and then sheets, bigger sheets right here. And here is the most exciting part on my new toolboxes, and they match my big toolbox here. We'll start with this. Keep my grinder in here and all the accessories because I use that the most. Sanders and discs and parts. That needs to be reorganized. And drills. And my other grinder that I use, this one a whole lot. And those little drums are going to come in handy on that. This one's nice for getting an angle. I use that to get in tight spots. Sanders. Different kinds of sanders. There's a new one I think Dad gave me. Sandpaper. Small random tools, just little things I just didn't have anywhere else to put. It looks like I use a lot of spoons and turn them into tools and things. These are for pounding and prying and whatever. Just kind of my junk tools that I didn't have any other spots for. And then other big tools. There's that thing that you gave me. These are things I rarely use, but I don't want to throw out. And then I took this guy. This is where I just throw things when I'm cleaning up. Just toss random things in here that I don't want to throw out, but I haven't had time to file them yet. And I sand things flat on this. But there's grinders, roto-zips, and wire wheels. You can see how I use the cigar boxes, which I ran through the table saw to get the right sizes for. Roto-zip, tools, wire brushes. Look at that. All sanding drums. Plenty of sanding drums. And replacements. These are my long drill bits. And look at that. Chucks and chuck keys. One little box for that. And here, look at that. Hollow drill bits for drilling holes like that into leather, paper, whatever. But you can see how these cigar boxes come in handy. And then these are random drill bits, concrete drill bits, and then these are paddle drill bits. More in here, you know about those. These are sanding blocks that I like to keep out and have ready. Little ones, big ones, flat ones, even things that are shaped I can wrap sandpaper around to get a round angle. I do have to unfortunately move these out of the way to get to the toolboxes. But these are all screwed down so they don't move at all. This is a metal block I use for pounding and soldering, welding and stuff. But the drawers open over that. So this is, of course, where I put the millions of taps. Small taps go in here. Big taps go in here. And look at that, perfect fit. They come out in and out of there. Not easily with one hand. I'll show you in another. And of course, look at this. These are small dies, and the large dies are inside of this one. Nortino dies, Nortino Cuban dies. And then the rest of this is all for measuring. These are all measuring things. Scribes, you name it. Lots of little things. There's the punch. I'll try to do this through the camera. punch, a little mirror, doodads. And then this, all the punches. There must be better lighting here. Little handmade ones, and of course, a whole bunch of these. Let's see, there's a lot of them in there. The music goes with it really well. And you know, I use these blocks that I made. They're perfectly square. I use them for measuring and stacking. Same with these brass ones. Different size rings for making circles. Various tools for getting measurements right. And then more measuring devices, all my tape measures. These guys, a couple of these. And then all of the, this is a great little device for measuring. You can bend it in any shape you want. I got my caliper that I use all the time. Look at this caliper. A whole bunch of these. This is all stuff I use on a regular basis here. And then if we come up here, there's more measuring stuff in Pud's old box, which I have put a bunch of Grandpa's older tools in here. This one even says, you can find it, it says Joe Brudniak on it. There it is. Sorry, I'm so shaky. Calipers, and I put the 2 wooden screwdrivers in there because they were sort of antiques. These are things I might use for finer adjustments and whatnot. Got to use both hands here. These are tools that I've made, mostly things I use for mixing epoxy, scrapers and various different shape things, all useful. And then up here is Grandpa Brudniak's watchmaking, watch fixing tools. Keep blocking my own lights. I love these little hammers, tiny screwdrivers, and it looks like he made his own screwdrivers out of old drills. Pretty neat. One of these so I can pound on things. But this was my favorite cigar box, so I thought those would look good in there. This is the lock, combination lock I play with when I'm thinking I'm trying to eventually find the combination to it, which I haven't yet. This is where I throw various things I might need. And here's my pens, Q-tips, my new radio, which brings us to our second toolbox. This one has in it miniature socket deals for drills. Blind man's bluff. These are all things that could go on the end of a drill or screwdrivers and whatnot. And all these guys. A metric and a standard here. So those all fit beautifully there. And up here I got little drill bits, medium drill bits, big drill bits. specialty drill bits, really sharp ones, and just weird drill bits. These are the wood ones you gave me. And these are some little miniature chisels I've had for years. I finally put them in a box. So I keep my razor blades that I use all the time. New ones here and used here. And then this is where I keep my X-Acto knives and blades. And
next we'll hear violence.
here we go. This is the third.
His solo violence.
So I keep all the chisels I want to use on a regular basis, and knives, different knives and chisels. Here are all the files. Here are used kind of funky router parts that are not very good. The router stuff that comes in cases, the router wrench, and then the good routers. Or I take that back. These are the bad routers. These are the good router bits. And these are all good router bits that I've had. And I use these two pieces of wood here to cut things on and drill on and whatnot, so I can tear up my beautiful cabinet, which is not torn up, just stained. And I keep this piece of granite here so I can work on stuff, but it has to move whenever I open this drawer. This one is all the mechanic stuff. There's a few mechanic tools back there, but mostly sockets, socket wrenches, baby socket wrenches, big sockets. There's a magnet, pickup magnet tool, sockets, and special sockets that you remember your dad has probably. And then small wrenches, and then big wrenches. Now this one is not tied down, so I can pick it up and take it, and I have to lock it better next time. And here's where I put all of those super nice antique chisels, right? So if I ever need them, they're right there near the other chisels. Keep my tape up here, and keep my little tops of the cigar boxes I cut off for holding little parts. And this is all my safety gear right here, and lots of tools, different hammers, measuring things, you name it. There's that cute little coping saw. There's my hacksaw, little jigs, and then the top shelf I've always had just really interesting items that I might use one day in art. It's an old radio. More tools. And this is where I found a spot for these. And this is my wet area. I keep all my wet stuff over here. I'll show you this real quick while we're back here. These are just things I use and play with, make art out of. I've got 3 rows and just enough room to walk back here. So wet stuff again. And then I also keep these things up here that I might use one day. Smaller items. And lots of cigar boxes with various things. I won't open all of these, but like here has all the little nameplates, boilerplates, whatever you want to call them. And this is one I use a whole lot. Just cute little emblems and signals and items, Mexican calendar, some dragons. Lots of stuff like that. You don't really care about probably to look at. And back over here, I put a bunch of stuff on this shelf. A pie that I don't use very often. Up here along with, look at this, the antique tool collection. Which is mostly for decoration, but these files are really pretty. You recognize most of those. You don't recognize that because that was mine. But I can pull that saw down anytime I want to use it. It's just on 2 screws. This really nice vise. I bet you wish you had one of these at some point in your life. Stuff I use on a regular basis. And all my vacuum cleaners parts, because guess where the vacuum cleaner is? Right there. I can pull that out and roll it around. Glass cutting stuff. Little things for tapping numbers or letters into metal. Blades, saw blades, little saw blades go in here. This is where I have my planer, sharpeners, couple of items for cars. And this was something you made, frame clamp. So that's just about it for Steve's studio. This is where I sit and where I work most of the time. So this table has to be open. So you can see there's not much room. Even my fan has to stay back there. Not much room up here either. There you have it. Welcome to Steve's studio. Love you.